Hello, gents. The man who controls himself needs no one else to rule him. Sigma males are a breed apart, self-reliant, independent, and untamed by the expectations of the world. If you're here wondering why controlling a Sigma male is impossible, the answer is simple. They've already mastered the hardest person to control, themselves. While others conform to societal molds or crave the approval of peers, Sigma males live by their own code, untethered by external pressures. These men don't rebel loudly or seek attention. They simply exist on their own terms, thriving in solitude, yet never out of reach of connection when they choose it. Their power lies in their quiet confidence, their unshakable principles, and their ability to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't align with their values. But this isn't about glorifying defiance for its own sake. It's about understanding what makes these individuals so rare and powerful. Sigma males embody the wisdom that true freedom comes from within, and that's why they're impossible to control. If you've ever wondered what separates Sigma males from the rest, or if you're walking this path yourself, this video is for you. Stick around as we explore the 10 undeniable reasons why Sigma males are untouchable. Let's dive in. Let's get started, gents. Number 1. They're driven by principles, not authority. Sigma males live by an internal code that doesn't bend to the weight of authority or societal expectations. They're not the kind of people who obey rules just because someone in a suit or uniform says so. For them, the only rules that matter are the ones that align with their deeply held values. This isn't about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about authenticity. If something doesn't sit right with their principles, no amount of force, persuasion, or title flashing will sway them. This is why controlling a Sigma male is nearly impossible. The usual tools of authority, status, threats, or promises hold no real power over them. They see through the facade of control tactics and assess the situation based on their own judgment. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong, regardless of who's giving the orders. Even if the entire world agrees on a path, a Sigma male will reject it if it feels hollow or against their values. What's more intriguing is their complete lack of hesitation when walking away from things that don't align with their principles. They don't explain themselves, they don't justify their decisions, and they don't cling to situations out of fear of burning bridges. Once they decide something is out of sync with their inner compass, they're done. And it's not out of anger or spite. It's simply a matter of staying true to themselves. Control requires submission, but Sigma males won't submit to anything that doesn't resonate with their core. Their independence is more than a lifestyle, it's a fundamental part of who they are. Trying to control someone who only answers to their own principles is not just difficult, it's a guaranteed failure. Number 2, control is a red flag. They spot instantly. Sigma males have an almost uncanny ability to detect control, no matter how subtly it's disguised. They don't need time to figure it out because they're hyper-attuned to the smallest shifts in behavior, tone, or intention. If a seemingly caring gesture starts to feel more like a leash, or if loyalty starts to look like ownership, they sense it immediately. They don't brush off red flags, they dissect them on the spot. What makes them so quick to spot control is their refusal to take things at face value. They're natural skeptics who read between the lines and analyze not just what's being said, but why it's being said. Flattery, guilt trips, or backhanded concern might work on others, but Sigma males recognize these for what they are, attempts to box them in. The moment they sense an ulterior motive, it's over. This isn't paranoia, it's a finely tuned instinct for self-preservation. They've likely seen enough manipulation in others' lives, or maybe even experienced it themselves, to know how it works. And once they spot it, they don't sit around hoping it will get better. They start mapping their exit strategy, ensuring they won't get entangled further. What's unique is how quietly they handle it. They won't confront or argue unless absolutely necessary. Instead, they shift gears internally, disengaging emotionally and mentally from the situation. By the time the would-be manipulator notices, the Sigma male is already halfway out the door, cool, calm, and completely unbothered. Trying to control a Sigma male is like stepping on a hidden alarm system. You might think you've got them cornered, but the truth is, they've already seen the trap, and they've already decided they're not staying. Thank you for being part of Gents Grove community. You are valued. At number 3, they see freedom as Non-negotiable. For a Sigma male, freedom is the air they breathe. It's not optional, it's essential. They don't view independence as something they earn or something they're granted. It's their default state. The moment someone tries to tether them, no matter how gently or subtly, it feels like a noose tightening around their soul. The idea of being controlled, confined, or micromanaged isn't just uncomfortable, it's intolerable. The thing about Sigma males is that they're wired to move through life on their own terms. Any attempt to adjust their pace or direction is met with silent resistance. They don't need arguments or drama to make their point. They simply disconnect. No pleading or persuasion can keep them in a situation where their autonomy is at stake. To them, any relationship, job, or commitment that threatens their freedom is a cage, and they'll walk out of it without hesitation. This isn't about being rebellious or difficult, it's about survival. A Sigma male thrives in environments where they can think, act, and exist without interference. When someone claims to know what's best for them, or starts making decisions on their behalf, it's like pouring water over fire. It kills their spark. They're not going to stay in a situation that drains them, no matter how much someone insists it's for their own good. And here's the kicker. Sigma males don't just leave, they leave decisively. There's no back and forth, no lingering doubts. Once their freedom feels compromised, the connection is severed cleanly and completely. They don't see freedom as something to negotiate or compromise. It's the foundation of who they are. Take it away, and you take them away. Number 4. They outsmart emotional manipulation. Sigma males are masters at navigating emotional dynamics because they see manipulation coming long before it has a chance to land. Their intuition acts like a radar, picking up on subtle shifts in tone, body language, or choice of words that signal someone is trying to play on their emotions. Whether it's guilt trips, passive-aggressive remarks, or emotional blackmail, they don't react the way manipulators expect. Instead of taking the bait, they step back, observe, and mentally dissect the situation with surgical precision. What makes Sigma males so formidable is their ability to stay calm and logical when most people would crumble under pressure. Manipulators thrive on emotional reactions, but Sigmas don't give them that satisfaction. They recognize the tactic for what it is, a move in a game, and they counter it strategically. If someone tries to guilt them into compliance, they'll calmly separate the truth from the manipulation and respond only to what's valid, ignoring the emotional hook entirely. Even crocodile tears don't faze them. Sigma males can differentiate between genuine emotion and a performance. They won't call it out directly, there's no need. Instead, they quietly disengage, refusing to feed into the theatrics. Their strength lies in their ability to remain detached, which leaves manipulators scrambling, unable to gain control. Ultimately, Sigma males treat emotional manipulation like a poorly constructed strategy in a chess game. They see the move, anticipate the outcome, and render it useless before it even starts working. Their intuition, combined with their unshakable self-control, makes them nearly impossible to manipulate. While others might get entangled in the web of someone's emotional tactics, Sigma males simply step over it and keep moving forward, leaving the manipulator stunned and powerless. Number 5, they devalue power plays. To a Sigma male, traditional power dynamics are nothing more than smoke and mirrors. Titles, wealth, or social status might dazzle others, but they don't move the needle for him. He doesn't see power as something to be worshipped or feared. It's just a tool, and one he doesn't need anyone else to wield on his behalf. This mindset instantly disarms people who rely on their position or resources to exert control, leaving them bewildered and powerless in his presence. Sigma males don't measure worth by the usual metrics society upholds. A fancy title or a bloated bank account doesn't make someone more influential or deserving of respect in their eyes. What matters to them is authenticity, competence, and alignment with their values. So when someone attempts to pull rank, flash their wealth, or flex their social clout to manipulate or control them, it falls flat. He doesn't see superiority. He sees insecurity wrapped in a facade of importance. What really frustrates would-be controllers is how indifferent Sigma males are to the levers of power. They're not interested in climbing the social ladder or playing politics to get ahead. This makes them impossible to bribe, intimidate, or trap in the web of material or hierarchical games. When someone tries to leverage power over them, they don't push back. They just step to the side and walk away. Because they don't value conventional power, they can't be trapped by it. You can't control someone who doesn't care about the carrot you're dangling or the stick you're wielding. For Sigma males, power games are just that, games. And while everyone else is busy playing them, he's already moved on to something real, something that actually matters. Number 6. They don't over-explain. Sigma. Males understand a crucial truth. Over-explaining is a trap. Controllers thrive on dragging their targets into endless debates, hoping to wear them down with relentless questioning, guilt, or manipulation. But Sigma males refuse to play that game. They know that a firm boundary doesn't need excessive justification, it only needs to exist. When someone tries to push, their response is swift and concise, a definitive no, or better yet, total silence. This approach leaves manipulators scrambling. Controllers expect a back and forth. They want explanations they can twist, arguments they can counter, or vulnerabilities they can exploit. Sigma males deny them that opportunity. By keeping their responses brief and resolute, they shut down the power dynamic before it even has a chance to start. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. They've already made their decision and see no need to seek approval or validation for it. Even in tense situations, Sigma males remain unshaken. They don't feel the need to defend their choices or convince others to see things their way. Explaining to them is a waste of time when someone's intent isn't to understand, but to control. Their silence or their succinct responses send a clear message. I'm not here to negotiate my autonomy. This ability to stand firm without getting entangled makes them almost impossible to manipulate. Controllers quickly realize they can't outtalk or outmaneuver someone who refuses to engage on their terms. For a Sigma male, silence isn't passive, it's power. It's a statement that says, your attempt at control isn't worth my energy, leaving the controller frustrated and powerless. Number 7. They turn the tables effortlessly. Sigma males have an uncanny ability to turn the tables on anyone who tries to control them, and they do it effortlessly. They don't simply resist manipulation, they flip the script in such a way that the controller ends up trapped in their own tactics. This isn't a reaction driven by anger or frustration. It's a calm, calculated strategy. They can mirror the exact manipulative behaviors used against them, twisting the very methods that someone thought would dominate them into a tool that exposes their true intentions. When a manipulator tries to impose their will, the Sigma male doesn't fight fire with fire. Instead, he takes a step back and reflects the manipulation back at the source. If someone is guilt-tripping, they might find themselves being subtly guilt-tripped in return. If control is being imposed through emotional pressure, the Sigma will respond in kind, making the controller question their own motives. It's a subtle but powerful form of psychological judo that forces the manipulator to confront their own behavior. This doesn't just unsettle the controller, it shatters their sense of control. They quickly realize they've been outplayed, their own strategies turned back against them. As the Sigma male mirrors their moves, the manipulator begins to feel the discomfort of being caught in their own web. This shift in power is disorienting. The controller who once thought they were in charge finds themselves at a loss, suddenly questioning their own intentions and tactics. What's truly remarkable is how effortlessly Sigmas do this. There's no dramatic confrontation, no emotional outburst. It's a quiet dismantling of the controller's plans, all while the Sigma stays cool and composed. In the end, the would-be manipulator is left standing in the wreckage of their own strategy, blindsided by a tactic they never saw coming. Number 8. They have nothing to prove. Sigma males are impervious to control because they have nothing to prove. This simple fact is their ultimate defense. While others constantly seek validation, whether through titles, recognition, or the approval of others, the Sigma operates on a completely different wavelength. His sense of self-worth is internally generated. He doesn't need external affirmation, and that lack of dependence is what makes him untouchable. Because Sigma males don't care about status, admiration, or fitting into someone else's idea of success. They have no weak points for others to exploit. Controllers often rely on manipulating insecurities, whether through praise, flattery, or criticism, but a Sigma male doesn't need anyone else to validate his existence. This makes him immune to emotional manipulation. If someone tries to put him down or offer false praise, he doesn't react. He doesn't need to defend himself because he knows exactly who he is. This self-contained nature leaves manipulators powerless. When a person's self-esteem is based on their own standards, no one can tear it down with insults or attempts to inflate it with flattery. Sigma males don't measure their value by others' opinions. They don't chase recognition or social approval. They are already secure in themselves. And when it comes to control, this makes them nearly impossible to dominate or manipulate because there's nothing to dangle in front of them to make them react. Without a desire to be better or bigger than anyone else, Sigma males exist on their own terms. In a world that thrives on competition and external validation, this quiet independence makes them nearly invincible to anyone trying to exert control over them. Their self-sufficiency is a force field, and anyone trying to break it will only find themselves against an impenetrable wall. Number 9. Their respect can't be bought or coerced. Sigma males operate on a level where respect isn't something you demand or purchase. It's something you earn. They don't care about titles, wealth, or status symbols because, to them, those things are often just masks for insecurity. Flashy displays of power or attempts at intimidation are ineffective because Sigma males are unimpressed by the superficial trappings of authority. For them, respect is rooted in character, authenticity, and integrity. They're not swayed by someone's position in a hierarchy or how much influence they claim to have. They judge people by their actions, consistency, and how they treat others, not by the size of their paycheck or the number of people they can command. This mindset renders them completely immune to coercion or manipulation by those who rely on power dynamics to control others. Attempts to control a Sigma male through fear or authority often backfire. They don't see hierarchy as a legitimate reason to follow someone's lead. They evaluate each situation independently and decide for themselves whether someone is worth listening to. If they detect even a hint of arrogance or dishonesty, they'll quietly disengage, cutting off any chance of influence. This isn't rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's a refusal to sacrifice their autonomy for something they don't believe in. Sigma males respect themselves too much to compromise their values for someone else's approval. Their loyalty and respect must be earned, and if you haven't done the work to earn it, no amount of pressure or persuasion will move them. This uncompromising standard is what makes Sigma males so uncontrollable. They're not swayed by fear, flattery, or the illusion of power. They answer only to their own principles, and that's why they can't be ruled by anyone else. Now, at number 10, deep understanding of human behavior. Sigma males possess a remarkable ability to read people, a skill that goes far beyond surface-level observations. They don't just notice what someone says, they analyze why it's being said, how it's being said, and what's left unsaid. It's not a passive talent, but a deeply honed skill, built through years of observation and introspection. They've learned to decode the subtle nuances in tone, body language, and timing that others often overlook. This deep understanding of human behavior makes them nearly impossible to manipulate. Where others might be blinded by flattery, guilt, or pressure, Sigma males spot the underlying motivations driving those tactics. They can identify the smallest inconsistencies in someone's actions, quickly deducing when something doesn't add up. To them, manipulative behavior isn't just a tactic. It's a weakness that exposes the true intentions of the person trying to control them. Their ability to predict behavior before it fully unfolds is like seeing a chessboard several moves ahead. People who attempt to deceive or corner them often find themselves exposed long before they even realize their game is up. And because Sigma males are driven by logic rather than emotions, they don't let personal biases cloud their judgment. This isn't about paranoia or distrust. It's about clarity. Sigma males understand that most actions stem from self-interest, and instead of condemning it, They simply accept it as a reality. This acceptance doesn't make them cynical, it makes them sharp. They navigate relationships and interactions with a calm assurance, knowing they're fully equipped to handle any hidden agenda. Control requires an element of surprise, and with Sigma males, that advantage simply doesn't exist. They see too much, understand too deeply, and are far too grounded to be swayed. In conclusion, the truth is, Sigma males are built differently. Their independence, deep self-awareness, and refusal to conform make them nearly impossible to control. They don't fit into society's molds, and that's exactly what gives them their power. They're not trying to dominate or be dominated. They've found a way to rise above the noise and live on their own terms. What truly sets them apart is their unshakable foundation. Sigma males don't seek validation, approval, or authority from others. They've created their own rulebook, operate from a place of inner strength, and see through the games others play. It's not about resisting control. It's about making control irrelevant because they've chosen a different path altogether. If you're a Sigma male, this is your reminder to own who you are. The world will often try to fit you into its systems, but your power lies in staying true to your principles and your unique way of life. You're not here to follow or lead. You're here to live authentically, to grow, and to be unstoppable in your journey. So embrace your Sigma nature, keep questioning, keep building, and never compromise your independence. And if this resonates with you, stay tuned for more insights. You're not alone in this journey. Thanks for watching, gents. God bless you.